Spent the whole day yesterday stacking firewood. It's tough being a homeowner, I tell you. Anyway, welcome to Archfiend's Choices. I think I change the name of this every single time I do one of these. Anyways, we'll leave an annotation on the screen right now. Link in the video description down yeah. Feel free to watch Monday's video because this video will make a whole lot more sense to you. Anyway, 4 questions we had this time. I really like the answers and the rationale you guys gave on both sides. There is no right or wrong answer in these. These are just simply just going into your mind and thinking, what would you potentially do given the circumstance? Though, if we were all in these circumstances in real life, it might be a whole different thing than what we're talking about now. Anyway, let's just get right into this now. This first question, I kind of didn't word it as correctly as I wanted to. A lot of people didn't really grasp what I was going for. And on top of that, I spoke the numbers wrong during it. I put a little over annotation on the video, an overlay text that kind of corrected it. But if you didn't catch that and you just heard what I was saying, it got kind of confusing. So if you had trouble understanding the first question, don't worry, a lot of that's my fault for not phrasing it correctly and for saying the numbers wrong. There's 2 rooms. This is what the question was supposed to be if I spoke it clearly and thought it out a bit more. Anyway, there's 2 rooms. One room has 100 children in it. One room has 10 adults in it. They're all strangers to you. You don't know them. They're not relatives or friends or family of friends or anything like that. Now, if given a choice, you're in front of the rooms, you choose how these people die. If you want to go into that room of 100 kids, and I know I made it sound like, and I watched it back and I was like, why did I verbalize it the way I did? If you're in front of the room with 100 children, and you choose to kill them, they die, and it's your death. But if you don't do it, you get your hand amputated. So in other words, to save the lives of the children, and again, I really worded this poorly on my end. If you choose to let those kids live, you get a hand amputated. Or you could choose to be in front of the 10 adults, choose their death, watch them die, but if you don't, you get your arms and legs broken. Now, that might change the question up for you guys and change your answers, but it's basically the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And what it was basically trying to say is, would you be willing to sacrifice an appendage, like a hand, to save the lives of 100 kids? Or would you be more willing to save a lot of healing time and being in a wheelchair for months on end by breaking your arms and legs just to save 10 adults? What would you be more willing to do? Save the many or save the few? But if you save that many, you're going to lose a hand forever. Whereas if you save the few, you're just going to get broken arms and legs. And again, at one point I said, I think it was like 10 adults and 10 kids, and that really, messed you up if you didn't see that overlay. So we'll just throw that question out. But I like these needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few type things. And the one thing, and a lot of you guys pointed this out that got the question, said like, they couldn't deal with the trauma of seeing 100 kids killed. And I said that as well, as you'd have to choose the death for these people. And the trauma of that, of seeing like children die and you having to be the one to choose it, that was the breaking point for me, and that was a breaking point for a lot of you guys. You'd rather see the adults get killed, which is what I obviously would have chosen. You see adults die all the time. I mean, ogrish.com, anyone ever remember that website? Anyway, we'll skip that question. I promise I'll try and word these better because I did a poor job wording and trying to convey the exact question, and then I said the numbers wrong. So first question, we'll just throw that one out. All right. Second question was, would you rather, for $1 million, stick your hand in boiling water for 30 seconds, or get $50,000 and get taser, pepper sprayed, what else did I say? Taser, pepper sprayed, and stick your tongue in a mouse trap for $50,000. Now, a lot of people, and I said how if you stick your hand in the boiling water, if you pull it out before the 30 seconds, you're fucked and you get nothing. And I said that basically because I honestly don't physically think a human being could willingly stick their hand in boiling water and keep it there for 30 seconds and either not pass out or just freak out and pull out early. Now, there's some of you out there that said, yeah, I'd be willing to try that. It's $1 million. I'd take that risk. And then there was some people saying how, well, your hand would be physically unusable. It'd have to be amputated if you stuck it in for 30 seconds. Now, while that's up to debate, and there's been a number of instances where someone's hands have caught on fire in like a car accident or a house fire and stuff like that, and still had use of their appendage, be it severely scarred to holy hell, that's up for debate. I personally think your hand would still be functional after 30 seconds, but, you know, I don't know. I haven't stuck anyone's hands in boiling water for 30 seconds in years. But anyway, that's beside the point. I personally would go for the $50,000 simply because the $1 million wouldn't be that much of a difference to my life. It would be nice. It would buy me a better house or something like that, but I mean, other than that, I'm fine with the financial circumstance and situation I'm in right now. So obviously, I guess this would vary, because a lot of you said, you know, $50,000 would be nice, but I really need $1 million. That would really, you know, get rid of my debts and shit like that. So I can understand it from that end. And people that want to be willing, some people said like, oh, I have a high tolerance for pain, I could fucking do it, and like, you know, shit like that. So I can understand that as well. So more luck to you if you ever get offered that someday and you want to stick your hand in boiling water to be a millionaire for 30 seconds. Anyway, this next one, these final two I found out to be the most interesting with the way you guys responded. And just the thought processes that were coming out helped solidify my choices, because I didn't exactly have sides, you know, nailed one way or the other for what I was choosing. You're guaranteed to die in 1 year. All right? No matter what, you're dead in 1 year. You could have one of two things happen. One, you have $2 million. Take it, spend it on yourself for a year. I said, you know, you could throw a coke and hooker party till your money runs out, you know, shit like that. Whatever. See the world, travel wherever for a final year, live it up. Or you can get $10 million. The only catch with that being, none of that money can be spent on you. You have to give it away to people. You give it to homeless people, give it to charity, give it to your mother, your brother, your sister, your loved one, whatever the case may be. That money can't in turn be spent on you. You can't give it to your mom. Your mom can't buy you a Lamborghini or a trip around the world or shit like that. None of the money can be invested on you. It has to be all given away to people to their benefit. So, what would you choose? Now, this was very interesting, and I think either way could be, you know, seen as the selfish thing to do. You could say it's selfish to keep the $2 million for yourself when you could have helped out so many other people with 5 times the amount of money by simply choosing to not take that $2 million. Whereas you could take the $10 million and give it out, and you could be like, well, you're being like, you know, kind of selfish to yourself if that doesn't cancel itself out. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you would be basically saying, hey, you know, the ultimate choice is up to me. God damn it, I deserve to have something from this. I'm fucking dying here. I mean, it's nice that you guys all get money, but what the fuck? I'm dying. I mean, it would be selfish for other people to say, no, you get more money for us. So you can kind of see how it's selfish either way. One's directly on oneself and one is directly selfish on the other people, saying that, oh, you should give us more money with the choice of the $10 million. Now, this could be an interesting choice based on, again, your financial situation with the previous question. Like, I myself right now could, you know, finance a vacation to wherever I want right now and live rather, you know, happily in the final year of my life, whereas someone who might not have any money wouldn't be able to do that. So it's like, oh yeah, I want the $2 million. But to that end, would I be willing to donate to charity? Would I be willing to give it to loved ones? I probably would be more inclined to do that, though I totally understand, and I don't consider it that damn selfish as someone said, fuck it, I'm dying. I want to, you know, have a coke and hooker party, you know, 300 days out of my last 365 days left on the planet. I can understand that. So the rationale for this, either way, I felt suitable. I personally would take the $10 million, give a portion of it to charity, give a portion of it to loved ones, and I don't know, maybe make a lottery for you guys here on YouTube. Like, someone leaves a comment, I give $1 million or something like that. Who knows? Anyway, very, very interesting thought process that came out of this with you guys. A lot of very interesting answers that you guys gave on this one. Now the next one, and the final one, was either go 15 days without brushing your teeth, washing your hair, taking a shower, washing anything on you. If you even try and put water or cologne on you, it cause intense burning. You can't do anything like that for 15 days. You have to sit in your own stink and filth. And I said the most you could do is wipe your ass when you take a dump. So, and for your women, when your menstrual cycle comes up, oh, wow. Anyway, or go 100 days without the use of any sort of technology device that has like a visual screen or sound, like a cell phone, a computer, a television, any sort of video games, any sort of electronics. Basically have to like live a lifestyle of like, you know, a log cabin, just, you know, off the grid completely. I mean, you could use lights for electricity for lights, that's about it. But you couldn't see any sort of television, couldn't check the internet, couldn't check your email, anything like that for 100 days. So 15 days of stink or 100 days of log cabin life. Now, I said the whole thing of like, boy, if this happened right now, I'd have to wait at least 100 days to see the final episode of Breaking Bad. I threw it out there in the previous video, and I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I could do that. Wait 100 days, you'd probably hear about what happened accidentally. But it would be a nice break, and that's what a lot of you guys left comments about. You said, boy, you know, it would really be a nice break just to get away from technology and everything and the media and all that shit, just for 100 days. It would be a nice, refreshing, cleansing break. And I agree with that. And a lot of you guys said how, like, you know, well, 15 days, yeah, I would stink to high hell. I would just stay at home or whatever, deal with it. It would be a struggle, but I can't live without the internet. I'm addicted to internet. I'm addicted to television, etc., etc., etc. So I can understand that as well, because, I mean, my God, I use the internet on a daily basis here. I mean, YouTube, I watch videos on this website so fucking much more than I care to admit. And this was one I was honestly, you know, up in the air about, because, you know, some people did bring up that you could have genuine health risk concerns with the whole 15 days of not cleaning. You get a simple infection and you aren't able to clean it, you could potentially get death within the 15-day time frame. Whereas going without TV and internet, I mean, you might go a little batty, you know, in 100 days, but, you know, it's not going to cause imminent death unless, you know, you go insane and run off a cliff in insanity. But that is a good note to make, that, you know, just something like a simple infection, like your gums could get infected, like something like that, just from not brushing your teeth for so long. With knowing that, I would just take proper steps to stay away from as much filth as possible. I would eat very just like, you know, simple foods, vegetables, water, stuff like that, stuff that doesn't have a lot of bacteria in it, etc., etc. Boil everything, etc., etc. But I love my television. I love my internet. I love my computer. Oh boy. You guys gave some good cases either which way, and you said how, you know, it would be a nice break. Again, going back to that point of, boy, it would just be a nice, refreshing break just to just slip out of the media, electronic age for 100 days and be forced to do it. But 100 days would be a torture. And you know what? I'd like to have 15 straight days of just sitting at home, watching movies, watching shit on the internet, playing video games, getting caught up on video games. My God, I need to finish Assassin's Creed 3. Anyway, I would take the stink. I would take the stink, even though I do acknowledge there is a genuine health risk with this that a number of you pointed out, and you could get potential long-term effects. Again, I would just be on such a very strict, simplistic diet. I would try to stay as sedentary as possible, not to work up a sweat, thing of that nature. And like I said, I would sit on my couch, sleep as much as possible, and watch TV and movies. I'd be such a lazy sack of shit. I'd probably put on 30 pounds too, because I wouldn't be exercising or anything. So it'd be nice to put some size back on and not be a fucking skeleton. Anyway, those are my choices for Archfiend's Choice. Thank you guys for the feedback. This was an excellent round. Sorry I really didn't convey that first question. I did a very poor job wording that for you guys. So anyways, just forget about that question. We'll do this again in the future. I really like these. I like the feedback that you guys give for these, and it's always interesting to see someone be like, oh, it's definitely this answer, and then see the next person say, no, it's definitely this answer, and completely contradict what one person said over the other. And again, there's no right or wrong answers in these, and that's the greatest thing about this. So just a fun little activity for us here to discuss of things that we normally might not think about, and that someone like me would think about, and a part of my brain that got boiled for 30 seconds. Someone asked me that in the comments, and that's what I said would happen. Anyway, have a great day, a better tomorrow, and free firewood. I'm just kidding, it's not free. I paid for that shit, and I wasted all day yesterday stacking it. Touch that wood, and it will break your arms and legs with a baseball bat. Or put your hand in boiling water for 30 seconds. That is all.